Hi everyone, this is Lily. Today I'm gonna present on the mechanism and effects of circadian rhythm. So the reason I choose this topic is just to help me understand how I recover from the jet lag when I travel from China to Berkeley, a very long flight. And this goes to broad topic number 1, biology of affect cognition and behavior. So I list 3 main references I used in this presentation. The first one is a book named Circadian Rhythms, a very short introduction. It's credible because it's published recently and it's published by Oxford University Press, which is a really authoritative press. And I will use the definition of circadian rhythm from this resource. The second one is a book called Circadian Clocks. This one is also credible because it's both cited and downloaded much more times than its discipline average, which is the biomedical discipline. And I will discuss some controversies in this piece. And the third one is an article called How a Disrupted Clock May Cause a Decline in Learning and Memory. This one is credible because the author is a really experienced expert in circadian rhythm research. And this is the piece I'm going to summarize. So we come to the key terms. The first one is circadian. Circadian just means something recurring naturally on an approximately 24-hour cycle. Second one, Psych. It's just an environmental cue, like a change in light or temperature. Third, entrainment. It means period of rhythmic physiological or behavioral events match the period of an environmental oscillation. Fourth, master clock. It refers to cells in hypothalamus that contain the genes that govern circadian rhythms, and it's also named as SCN. Fifth, clock genes, transcriptional activator which forms a core component of the circadian clock. And we come to the definition of circadian rhythm. Circadian rhythm is an internal clock that anticipates daily changes in light, temperature, and food, etc., and optimizes physiology and behavior in advance of the varied demands of the day or night cycle. And the underlying mechanism of circadian rhythm is the circadian oscillation of gene expression, protein modifications, and behaviors. And the core clock genes send signals to control the circadian oscillation, and this oscillation is entrained to the external environment. So we come to the controversy. We know that environmental factors entrain circadian rhythm, but different scientists have different opinions on what specific environmental factor entrain the circadian rhythm. So some 1975 scientists think that periodic social cues entrain the circadian rhythm, and the cue just mean like maybe individuals being in group or vs being alone. And some 2001 scientists think that light-dark cycle is the predominant factor that entrains circadian rhythm. The evidence for this group of scientists is that they carry out experiments that place individuals in group versus alone or like other periodically changing social cues and observe the changes in circadian rhythm. And these scientists point out some technical flaws in these experiments, like the 4-day experiment is simply too short. And then we come to the article summary. So a quick summary of this article is that the circadian rhythm has close relationship with learning and memory, and disruptions of the circadian system produce decline in learning and memory functions. There are some evidence to support this. The first one is clock genes are widely expressed in brain regions that are critical for learned behaviors. The second one is circadian clockwork regulates intracellular signaling pathways important to learning and memory, and these are some example pathways. The third one is circadian system affects electrical activity and synaptic plasticity. The fourth is circadian system controls the patterns of secretion of hormones important to learning and memory, like corticosteroids and melatonin. And the fifth, disruptions of the circadian timing system alter learned behavior. And this is supported by the evidence that ablation and mutations of circadian-related genes and cells like SCN lead to significant attention drop, impaired learning ability, and disrupted long-term memory in rats and flies. So before I wrap up the presentation, let's go through some recap exercise. The first one is the circadian rhythm is driven by what and synchronized to what? So the answer is it's driven by internal mechanisms and synchronized to external cycles. Okay, so this is like a common mistake that people may say that the rhythm is driven by external cycles. This is something we need to pay attention to. And the second one, define the word Zeigeber. So Zeigeber is just an environmental cue such as a change in light or temperature. The third, what is SEN? SEN is a very commonly used term in circadian rhythm research. So SEN is suprachiasmatic nuclei, and it's a pair of cell populations in the hypothalamus responsible for controlling circadian rhythms. And we finally come to the conclusion part. Circadian rhythm allows the organism to predict and prepare in advance for the changes in the physical environment that are associated with night and day. It's important because disturbed circadian rhythmicity is associated with numerous mental and physical disorders and can have a negative impact on human safety, performance, and productivity. Thank you all for watching.